I hate doing intros, but what's good, YouTube? Back with another video. Today we're going to be doing women characters that we believe that could be main characters or protagonists. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the whole spill. But let me get out of here. Peace.
To start us off, we got Mike.
All right, so character I got is Marileona. I was struggling to get her name right.
There we go. You said it right.
Yeah, my boy. But Marileona is my character for this list. I chose her basically because she's a badass, and throughout the entire show, she shows that like she separated herself from all of the other, I guess they're wizards, or other captains and wizards and people in the Royal Kingdom. She's also probably one of the strongest people in the show altogether. Like, when you watch the show, or if you've watched the show, you know how much it takes to take her down. And I think that she could hold her own as a main character within basically any show, not just Black Clover, but Black Clover, if it was a show with just her, I could see it. What you thinking, Ant?
Yeah, I could definitely see why you would pick her for this list. I ain't even going to try to say her name. But she's really strong, and I also can see the fact that like her leadership skills and stuff like that. The fact that she was able to step in when her brother, whatever happened to him. You know what I mean?
No, that's a good point.
The fact that she was able to step in and be a captain and people actually follow her lead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's also one she's one of the strongest fire using characters in anime, period. So I could definitely see myself watching a show based around just her, maybe like her backstory and why she's so crazy like that, or what makes her really that strong in general. So I can see why you picked her.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she literally trained in a volcano. It don't get no stronger than that. And then like Ant said, like she's not just a strong captain, or she's not just all brutes and that's it. She also, like, in her pastime, she's training all the time. She trains all the other captains to get stronger, and yeah, I'm gonna say she wear them out too. Or she's hunting wild animals and stuff like that. Like, she's a real interesting character, and like Ant said, like, from her being smaller or younger, it would still be interesting. Like, she literally, I'm not gonna spoil it, but she could definitely hold her own as a main character, and she's kind of more interesting sometimes than some of the main characters in Black Clover.
All right. Sounds pretty good to me. Y'all might, from the way y'all talking, seem like I might actually end up watching the show. Probably won't, but we gonna see. Next, we have my character, actually, and it's Morgiana from Maggie. And I know a lot of people haven't really seen Maggie. It's a kind of older anime, but she's actually like fairly interesting. I think I like her probably more than the main character, Alibaba, because she didn't even talk much. I kind of like a lot of personality with like minimal words. She was sold as a slave at a young age, taken from like her mom and her dad, with trying not to get into like spoiler territories. And then she ended up getting out and traveling with the main character. But just from the background they give her in the show and the effect it had on her later on with how she acted and interacted with everybody, how she still wanted to help people, and the way she fought with the chains that she was chained up with, and like her journey back to home only to find what she found at her hometown was like, I don't know, I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you on that, Ruben. I definitely think that she had her own kind of story. Like, if there ever had been like an OVA or something, it'd be really interesting just kind of seeing, like you said, because she was a slave, seeing more of what it was like before all that happened, and then when she went to go back to visit. Like she said, she was a woman with not very many words, but she always did it through her actions, because actions speak louder than words. I'm stopped at. But just more or less, because she did used to be a slave, that didn't stop her from developing more herself as a character, and even kind of using it as symbolism for some of the stuff that that she uses, particularly, I'll say, without spoiling, to get further into the anime, to show that she's kind of gotten over this point, but isn't going to forget it, because it's still a part of what made her who she is now. And like you said, I do find her actually more interesting than Alibaba, other characters. I'm not sure how far we want to go into listing all of them. But yeah, no, I think just the way she fights too, like she's very strong.
Yeah, nah, her character development was crazy. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Khalil's choice, and we have him going now.
Me. Alright. So with my character, I threw the name Genkai into the ring. I think she'd be an interesting main character, mostly because you see that she's just like most shonen animes. And as you can see, she's very wise, and of course, she's very hands-on when it comes to how Yusuke ended up becoming the person that he is to this day. And she even told him, "Hey, you know, you're to the point where I can't even stop you anymore. If you want to blow up the world, then hey, you just have to do it. No one can stop you." So she gave him some real wisdom, probably bad advice, but real wisdom. And I do want to, like, I was interested enough to I was wondering, what was her backstory with Toguro? Like, I feel like that in its own could have been its own
Story.
arc or OVA.
Yeah.
Like I'd watch a whole arc of that to figure out, okay, what went wrong with her and Toguro? Why would Toguro choose, hey guy, come with me, like let's go do this.
I mean, you're right for sure. Genkai is just she's like the woman Master Roshi, but better. And I think she came out before Master Roshi, so she Master Roshi OG. But Genkai, she that's tough love for real, but she really knows how to make basically every character stronger. And you're right, her backstory when she was younger, before the Toguro days, because remember it was a time period before she even met Toguro, and then there was times where she was like, what are the two robbers? I can't remember their name, but it's the two famous robbers when they're running out together. It seemed like that was Genkai and Togoro's relationship too.
Bonnie and Clyde?
Bonnie and Clyde. Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking about it. But like, yeah, I think that they kind of had that Bonnie and Clyde like relationship where they were just two good Bonnie and Clydes running around doing whatever whenever they wanted without anybody being able to stop them. And you're right, an OVA would be cool for so many different parts of her story, even just how she got so strong to be on the same scale as Toguro, even though he kind of lapped her after a while, but you know what I
mean. Just a little bit.
Yeah, Genkai goated though, for sure.
All right, next up, we got Amari's choice. Go ahead, Amari.
All right. Yep. So if you guys don't already know the show by now, Jujutsu Kaisen, I mean, it's been really popular. But the character of my choice was Maki Zenin. From what I know, she's kind of the underdog in the show, but even though she's an underdog because of the fact that she can't use cursed energy in comparison to all the other characters of the show, she still holds her own. And then on top of that, being in a clan where mostly all the men kind of are like, ruling over and kind of, they do all the stuff themselves as a powerhouse. Women kind of on the side, so, like how it was in the olden days. She still was like, look, I may not be able to use curse energy, but I can still fight, and one day I'm gonna come back and whoop your butt, and then I'll be able to take over. So I think it would be really interesting, just, in the perspective of how we kind of see in other shows like Naruto and them, somebody who doesn't have the abilities that everybody else does in the world, but can still hold their own in a fight against villains and even the heroes. So I think that's why I chose her as the character of my choice. What do you think, Ruben?
Yeah, nah, I definitely could see Maki as her own standalone main character. Just her grit and like just the finesse she has when she fights and stuff with no powers. It's just, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I ain't even seen the show, but when I first seen her, I was like, dang, she a better Deku than Deku. She can hold her own, and she's strong now without cheating. Deku kind of cheated. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, put the pitchforks down. I'm just saying, it's an opinion. But yeah, no, I definitely see it. And she's stronger than her sister. And her sister has powers, even though she's not like fully, because you know what I'm saying, I guess they both got like, certain like strengths in their genes or whatever, but Maki's wasn't on like the, the sorcery side, it was just on like the physical strength side. But I get you, Amari. I can definitely see why you pick her as the main character. All right, moving on to our last one, but right before that, we throw out a couple honorable mentions. We have Tatsumaki from One Punch Man. We have Raph Talia from Shield Hero. Yeah, we have Shiro from Dead Man Wonderland, and we have Rim or Ram, or both, because they're twins, ReZero, starting a life in a new world. And with that said, we're going to our last one, which is Ant.
I picked for my character, I picked Inka from Fire Force. I feel like they showed a little bit of her backstory, kind of like showing her run away from the flames and all that stuff. But I feel like her getting her own show to see like that crazy side of what more she probably would do, and like the decisions and stuff that she probably made, like kind of how she was stealing and robbing from people in the beginning when we first was introduced to Inka in the beginning of what was season 2?
Yeah, season 2.
So seeing that and then seeing how dark that anime probably would be because of how crazy she is as a character, I feel like it'd be really interesting. And her power is really unique too, being able like the whole drawing thing. I feel like that being animated as like a whole anime on its own would be pretty cool. To see the drawing of the from point A to point B for the fire and all that stuff. So I feel like that's why I chose Inka as my character, to be a main character or a protagonist. Or an antagonist, you don't never know.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I'll piggyback on what you said. And yeah, see, I'm a huge fan of anime that go dark, so I believe her being the protagonist of her own show, or like you said, antagonist, kind of like how Light Yagami was to Death Note. I feel like it'd be real interesting because I want to know, like, I want to be able to get into her psyche. Maybe they will later on in Fire Force, but I want to know what is it really that makes this girl tick, and why is she such a narcissist?
Yeah.
Or narcissist, sadist, masochist. She's pretty much all those things. Like, she loves danger, and I feel like it could be a potential growth area for her to use. Let's say that she could potentially have that become a down spiral in her life, in her own story, and then maybe it could be a point where she could try to come back from that, trying to figure, okay, what's wrong with me? Let me try to change my life around. So I feel like it could go all kinds of ways with that could be her own character.
I feel you. What y'all saying making sense. I don't really like the character, but I can kind of agree with her being a main character. But let us know if y'all agree down in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe to the video. You know how it goes. And we'll see y'all next time.